Hello all and welcome to the Mug Life DIY. I am Julia and I am so glad you decided to check out my channel and let's get right into it. All right, we're going to jump right into project one, which we're going to be using this Dollar Tree little table sign, The Life Begins with Coffee. And I just loved how it was actually really thick and a little bit shorter than some of the other staple signs that I like to use. So first thing, I just pulled that little coffee metal decal. Now, it surprised me. It had like a fluffy foam piece on the back, which that was the most difficult part, just kind of peeling that off. And then these actually surprised me too. Those were real little nails holding on the little metal galvanized strap. So little surprise there. Had to kind of wiggle and finesse those out. I'm going to take a Dollar Tree moss sheet, I believe is what it's called. And I'm going to cut it down to the size of that front piece because we're going to cover it with the moss sheet. I wish I had a couple of these sheets, but this was literally the only one I had. And I'm going to call these next couple of projects the hot glue finger mess because, oh my goodness, I believe I burnt myself at least 4,552 times. Like, it was ridiculous. I don't have fingertips at this point. So word to the wise, use the finger protectors if you know where they are. Use a silicone glove. Like, it was bad, y'all. So I picked up these little fairy garden gnome piece. No, not gnome. Wow, mushroom pieces. And I just absolutely adored them. I knew immediately what I wanted to do with them. I wanted to make kind of like a little fairy garden of just one fairy who she is happily reading by herself and just, you know, enjoying the wonderful mushroom filled day. So I'm just going to hot glue. And when I mean hot glue, like, you are going to hot glue so much hot glue on the bottom of each of these pieces. Now I kind of just arranged them until I was happy, and I thought the yellow mushroom matched the fairy's wings, so that's kind of why I wanted to stick with the yellow, and the red were just adorable. So I didn't really worry about repainting these. This is a really fun and easy project that you could do, well, minus the hot glue, with your kids if they really enjoy fairies and all things magical and, you know, whimsical. This would be a fun little summer project to do with them. And let me tell you, my daughter is obsessed with this. She kept saying that it was Tinkerbell and she loved it. And oh, it's so pretty. So definitely a fun little take on a fairy garden. So I'm just going to be taking two of my moss colors, that like almost dead moss and then that really bright green moss. I actually believe the dead moss I got during the fall time at Dollar Tree. I've definitely had it for quite some time because I actually think the packs aren't as big as they used to be. I haven't bought any moss in a while, so if I go to Dollar Tree, I will definitely have to check to see, but I feel like the packages are smaller. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of just started randomly placing the moss in different patches. That middle section, I wanted to cover up the crease of the two pieces coming together, but just kind of around, I wanted to give some dimension to the grass and greenery, and I just kind of had fun with it. So I'm taking that leftover strip and I'm going to cut it in half, and this is going to be on the front and the sides of our little fairy garden. And yes, I know it doesn't completely cover, but don't worry, we are going to add some more greenery fluff to it and make it work all around. So don't worry about the other sides. You're just going to add more moss to it. So I did have little pieces of this like strip left, so I just used what I had and made it work and just kind of hot glued everywhere that I needed to and put it all around all of the sides. And then I had this one little piece left over, which you'll see that comes in handy later on. So I'm just going to be taking, you see, oh my goodness, burn. Oh my goodness, so much burn. And Oh, the glue was fraying so bad. I don't know if this is just old glue or what. It was just acting crazy for me. So all these little stray glue hairs were driving me insane today. So you're gonna have to just bear with the glue hair. I don't know. Not quite sure why in the world it was just so bad when I was doing these crafts, but it was definitely it was trying. It was your girl was just like, okay, just go with it. I'm gonna push through. So I just kind of added a few little pieces here and there. And I just decided, it's missing something. So I took some little wood slices also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make little fairy steps to the little wooden tree. And I just kind of made a little faux pathway around to the little mushrooms and around our fairy. And I think it just added a nice little detail. You wouldn't have to do this step if you have not been able to find these little wooden pieces. But I, for some reason, bought so many of these packs. So I kind of wanted to just use them and use my creativity and let it flow. So project 2 is taking this massive, and I mean massive, this thing is super heavy. I'm not, what kind of wreath is this? I don't think it's a grapevine because it's so thick, but this girl's heavy, okay? She's sturdy. Now, it did have that little bit of an orange tint I wasn't quite a fan of, so I just used some of my brown paint and kind of painted 2/3 of my wreath, which will be kind of the top section. And then we're going to be taking more mushrooms, which I believe I got these last year or the year before at Dollar Tree during the fall time. And of course, our greenery, our moss, our brown moss, our green moss. We're going to be covering this bad boy up. So when you think you have enough moss, just add more. That is the, object of this wreath. Like, I honestly just kept adding, and I probably, when I hung it up on my door, I was like, oh, I see a couple of spaces. I might need to add some more moss. So that is the whole idea, is you just want to cover that whole bottom section with greenery, with moss. And I thought, oh, it would be really pretty if in between I kind of just added a few little greenery sprigs and just kind of have fun with it. So I just kind of grabbed pieces from my greenery scrap pile and, just shoved them different places. No, there's no rhyme or reason. I wanted this just kind of very organic and flowing. So I wasn't really planning it out too well. I just knew the bottom half, I wanted it nice and green and very mossy and whimsical. So that's what you're going with. Just keep filling this up. Now, remember when I told you that these projects were like burning fingers, like it was a hot glue disaster? Now, of course, I decided and got so much motivation after I put my kids to bed. So this is probably around midnight that I am crafting. And so your girl's brain's not completely functioning. I mean, I don't even know. I just kept going though. And at the end of all of my projects, both of my thumbs, my pointer finger, and one of my knuckles is blistered. It is so bad. Now, my Ryobi gun, this is my high temp one, and it burns. So half the time I have to kind of like turn it off to just like let it cool a little bit because it goes hard. Okay. So it's great when I need something to warm up because it warms up so fast, but oh my goodness, it's a love-hate relationship I have with this gun. So, and I'm always losing my silicone finger protectors. I honestly need like gloves. I'm not even sure if that's a thing, but I was thinking of at Lowe's or Home Depot, I can't remember which one, I've seen it's like these outdoor work gloves. I feel like maybe they're garden gloves, and they have the whole bottom section is like dipped in like a plastic dip kind of thing. Have you guys seen these? Is it just me? I don't know, but I was kind of thinking that might work for my crafts. I don't know. Is that a little bit too extreme? Is that crazy? I mean, y'all already know I'm right there. So you might see in one of my videos, my upcoming videos, me rocking some full-handed gloves, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it works, because let's save our fingers and our knuckles. It's so bad. And like I said, just keep gluing the moss on. The amazing part was, for all of these projects, I still was just using the same moss bag. So it spreads out a lot better. Now I'm taking some of these Dollar Tree wood pieces. I couldn't tell you where or when I bought these little driftwood pieces. I don't even remember. It's been that long. So I did a lot, and I mean a lot of hot glue, and then I would hot glue around them, and then I added the moss to kind of secure it while it was drying, and stuffed it in place all the way around the bottom, the back. You can kind of see here I'm going underneath, and that just kind of like secured it so that the little twigs couldn't move when they were drying, because it sets in a few seconds with your hot glue gun. But I just really wanted to make sure that these little sticks weren't moving, and believe me, as much hot glue as I used, these bad boys aren't going anywhere. So I'm just taking some other, like I said, random greenery pieces. I'm just kind of putting this whole thing together. This was, I think, the little mini roses, but I loved the greenery and how it kind of had a little bit of a white look to it. So I kind of thought that was like a nice contrast to that really dark green. And I love the contrast of the greeneries, and I just feel like it just makes it look a little bit more organic and just earthy. And I did think after the fact, but I could not find them. Dollar Tree sells these little mossy rocks, and I think if you had those in your stash, that would be such a cute little element to add to this wreath. If you're trying to recreate this, that would be so fun. Now, of course, I'm just using all of my scrap pieces that I have around my house, but I might go to Dollar Tree sometime this week and try to find those little rocks, because they are adorable. And I know I have some, but my craft room isn't completely organized. I have been working really hard on organizing it. I'll have to show you guys on Instagram Live sometime. It's much better. It's much better. So I'm taking the 3 little blue mushrooms. Now, I was so worried because these are like the foam material from Dollar Tree, the same kind of like fluffy foam as the Dollar Tree pumpkins. So I was worried that they were not going to glue well, because whenever you're gluing things to the foam, it kind of melts it. So in order for things to stay, I used a combination of the little wooden slices, the greenery, the moss, and just a butt ton of hot glue. Yes, I said it. Like, it's a combination effort. So I'm just going to take a little other, what are these called? These like thicker pieces. I know Dollar Tree has a name for them. Anyways, I had those forever, and I wanted to give height and variety to my mushrooms. So in order for me to do that, I just used different heights of my wooden pieces. Oh my gosh, I can't think. Stump. It's not a stump. Wooden. Anyways, those. And as you see, I'm doing the same process. I am using so much hot glue. I'm using the greenery and kind of helping to let that set. And then I'm using the little wooden slices. And that whole combination in total really worked out well. I'm sure you could use popsicle sticks to kind of help secure these things, or other forms, but this was just kind of me late night crafting. This is what I came up with. So definitely your girl was on the creative side, but use whatever you guys have. I always say that, like, if you have really nice trees in your backyard and branches and things, use them. I just wanted to use my crafting items I had on hand. So that's why I didn't go out to the store and grab those little stones, because I just wanted to see what I could do with what I already had on hand. what I originally had wanted to do. And so that's what this process is. It's just layering and seeing what I can creatively come up with. So same process for that third one. And of course, to get it the height variety, I had to do the exact same thing. I had to use another little wooden cutout piece, a lot of hot glue, a wooden slice, and then I glued the little cute little mushroom to it. And there you go. I am showing you my burn number 4 or 5. Oh, it was bad. Like, it's blistering so bad. Anyways, I press on. I craft on. Now, I would love to know if you guys love mushrooms and whimsical, kind of this style. It is a different style for me. I really was enjoying it. I'm having so much fun making this, but I typically, oh my goodness, that is the train. All of these noises, I've had people cutting their grass. Now it's the train. Sorry, guys. If you like this style, let me know. I do have a couple of more mushroom and fairy kind of ideas. So if this is your cup of tea, definitely add a little mushroom. If there is there a mushroom emoji? Oh my goodness. I didn't even think if there wasn't, maybe a little fairy, but let me know down in the comments. I love talking with you guys because that's how I get to know you guys. That's how I know what content you guys are enjoying, what you are loving to do, what you're loving recreating. I mean, it's summer break for all 3 of my kids, so it's a little bit crazy and hectic in our household, but not much has changed on that forefront. Normal is as normal does, but I really love how this turned out. So 2 little bonus parts was I added these cute little pit berries. I just love these. And this is that greenish white, off-white color. And I believe I bought this coloring during the springtime. It was either spring or it was during the fall time. I know I've had it for quite some time, so don't quote your girl because it's probably the wrong time. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of add a little bit of an extra layer. And so I wrapped it all the way around a couple times, my whole little section. Oh, it's so cute. And then I had actually forgotten I had the little fairy lights with the greenery that I had used so long ago for a headpiece that I created. Actually, what did I create that headpiece for? I don't even remember. It was for a costume, I believe, and ended up like taking it apart, and I had these really cute fairy lights. So I added the fairy lights to my wreath. So it's like a little bonus at nighttime. I can turn the fairy lights on. And do you remember how I told you that little piece that was left over, that scrap, I used to kind of camouflage our light piece. So you can't even notice it. I glued it on the top section. You can still pull it on and off to get to the battery pack, but you don't notice it. So fun little fact, I was able to use that scrap piece on this project. So hope you guys really love this project. I did add a couple more greenery moss pieces up top because I really wanted to kind of balance it out. I thought it just looked a little bit lonely and sad up at the top. So just keep going until you feel like this piece is whatever makes you happy. Like if you wanted to repaint the mushrooms or if you wanted to use all brown moss, it is just so easy to kind of make this your statement piece and just to have fun with it. Now, I'm pretty sure this third project might be my favorite. I don't know. It's a close one. These are all super fun. So I bought these Dollar Tree mushroom stakes. I believe they originally are just for your garden or maybe your herb garden on your windowsill kind of thing. But I grabbed them and I cut off the stake part. And then I'm going to be taking just a wood round sign that I had. I believe it was a Michael's Grab Box and this little Dollar Tree wood slice. That's what we're going to call it. And I'm going to paint it with my Waverly Steel color. And then I'm going to add the home right on top. But I wanted it to be a really close color comparison. So I just added a little bit of black paint and darkened it up really nicely. Now to use my little wooden round, I'm just going to use the back side as our front, and I'm going to take some stain, and I'm going to have to look because I could not tell you what stain color this is. I stained a desk, or not a desk, a table that my husband made me in this color, and so I had a lot left over. So I'm going to stain it with 2 coats, but I did the first stain or the first layer, and then I just wiped off the excess, and oh my goodness, I just love this color. It's a really fun, just very organic and light stain, so it's not a dark one. If you prefer dark stains, go right ahead. I just wanted kind of a more lesser color. I can't even. Okay, so with those little mushroom stakes, I'm going to be painting the stems in the white color, and then I'm going to paint all the way around the entire mushroom on those edges white. So honestly, the painting process in this whole project is what took so long. Not even, you know, the putting it together, the figuring out the sign, no, painting. All of these little pieces that I painted and those little leaf objects that you see on the right hand corner, oh my goodness, so much time painting all of those little details. So once all 3 of our stems were painted in the white and dried, I'm going to be painting 2 of the little mushroom tops in this really fun earthy kind of muted orange color, almost like a terracotta color. I just love it. And I'm going to be painting the top section in that color, and now I got to look up the color because now I can't even tell you. It's just so pretty. So you're going to want to paint 2 of those in that orange color. Then I grabbed kind of like a light sky blue color, and I'm going to paint the top of our 3rd little mushroom. And same process, just a nice light and even coat. I only did 1 coat, but if you would like a more of an opaque color, you would probably want to do 2 coats after the first coat dried. Now, I have had this little daughter for quite some time. I actually believe I picked it up at the Dollar Tree. I'm not originally sure what it's for, probably some other process, but I love using it to make little dots, like such a fun little paint detail element. Both sides are different sizes, so I'm able to paint perfect little circles with those little tips. So I wanted to add just a fun little element to them. Even though they had the little circle cutouts, I wanted to kind of mimic that with the white. Now here, my dodo self, I was like, hey, I got this. I'm just going to paint my little home sign and add some little dots, not thinking to let it completely dry before I did this next step. So I'm going to kind of like start putting it all together. And like I said, brain, this is probably 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2:30. Like I said, my brain, I am just like motivated. I am in the craft zone, brain not fully functioning, but I am there. Okay. Have you guys ever been there? So that's what happened. And as you can see, I kind of already touched it and smudged it a little bit. I was like, oh, it's fine. I can fix it. That's what I'm saying. So the little part of those little white Dollar Tree elements, not sure what happened to that video clip. It did not record. So those are all little Dollar Tree pieces that I have picked up for quite some time. Most of them are wood, but the larger elements are actually like a cardboard die cuts. So just be wary. Those are a lot more flimsy. And okay, pause. Let me just say, don't do as I do, okay? This needs just some craft glue, but I couldn't tell you where my craft glue was. I looked for it. All I could find was super glue, which that probably would have worked even better than the hot glue, but 2:30, y'all, okay? 2:30. So I would recommend, if you are trying to recreate this fun little home sign, to use some wood glue or craft glue, because the glue, the hot glue, it just seeps through these small elements and bugged me half to death. So if you're wanting to recreate this, don't use hot glue. Bam. Okay. My little segment is done. So I decided to go with kind of a more simple edging with the white elements at the bottom and add a few little pieces up at the top. And then later on, you kind of see when I show you the finished project, I wasn't happy. So I did add a couple more elements, but that's kind of just how I tend to craft. And as the spazziness crafting kind of continued, I was like, oh, let's add some dots. Okay, so all of these extra elements, if you don't like them, you wouldn't have to do them. But like I said, I just love adding just kind of random whimsical items and kind of crafting as I go. So that's what happened during this whole sign process. So I did the larger tip of the little dot first, and then I flipped it around, and then I made smaller little dots in between all of those bigger ones. And like I said, I just really love how it turned out in the end. But do as whatever makes you happy, and until you're happy in the end. And also, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. My name is Julia. I am the coffee drinking, spazzy crafter, mother of 3 wonderful, crazy kids. And if you love crafting, all things Dollar Tree, thrifting, you name it, welcome. And I hope you guys will stay and enjoy the spaz show. Oh yeah, and remember how I said I smeared those little dots? Yeah, this is me attempting to fix it in the end. So I just took some of my paint and added the first layer, grabbed a little bit of black, and kind of just color corrected as I went. And here is our first project. It turned out so fun. Like I said, my daughter is obsessed with it. She normally ends up taking most of my crafts in her room. I really need to finish her room, make some little shelves and you name it. But it turned out so fun. It is definitely whimsical. And as you can see, those little stray glue hairs are driving me crazy. And of course, I can't find my heat gun. So until I do, I have to live with them. So that's project 1. Jump right into project 2. And it turned out so fun. This would even look so cute if you added a little welcome sign to the top or another Dollar Tree sign that you could hang in the middle, because it's nice and open, because this wreath was huge. So you have options. You could recreate this, add some ribbon, just do whatever you want. But I love it. It turned out so fun. It's definitely a keeper in my book. Now, remember how I told you the lights? Oh, I couldn't wait until nighttime. So this is what I did. I brought it on my inside door, and then I turned off all the lights, and then I turned on the little fairy lights, and it turned out so cute. So that is it in what we're mimicking nighttime for my little wreath. Hope you guys love the little fairy lights, because how adorable is a little mushroom fairy wreath without some lights? So our final project, here you go. It's such a fun little simple sign to just add a little bit of whimsical, fun little mushroom love. And remember how I said I did add some extra elements because that's what I do. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know which one is your favorite craft and what you would love to see some more of. I do have a couple of 4th of July videos coming out this week, so I hope you guys will stick around for those, and I'll catch you next time.